My life seriously changed the moment I finally got this. And I didn't just get it in my mind, I got it in my heart, my bones, my blood, and in the wild chambers of my womb, in the wet, embodied yes of my yoni. So before I tell you about why whatever sits on the altar of your life is shaping who you become, welcome to Sacred Soul Sparks podcast. I'm Michelle, and this is a space where truth becomes the medicine, where the feminine remembers herself, and where we talk about the things that women only maybe whisper about. So here it is, the truth that is life-changing. You don't get what you want. You get what you are. Let me repeat that. You do not get what you want. You get what you are. And this is why your brain keeps you in alignment with who you believe you are. Your identity, your ego is running the show. Your thoughts run the show. Your habits run the show. Your choices run the show. The way you are speaking to yourself is actually what is running the show. I want to share a story with you that's going to explain this in a deeper way. So if you are keeping saying, I'm anxious, I'm overwhelmed, I'm scared, I've got no time, I'm burnt out, I'm fat, or I am really bad at relationships, whatever it may be, your body, your mind, even your soul, takes that as an instruction, and that instruction becomes your new baseline, your new floor, your familiar. And then there's a second piece to this, that your self-worth then sets the ceiling. And not a small ceiling, a cosmic ceiling, an expansive one. And so it's about asking yourself, how safe do you feel to receive love, to receive support or rest or money? Because if you or your nervous system don't feel safe holding more love, money, support, ease, flow, you will subconsciously push it away every single time, because your system is protecting you from what it believes is familiar. And then there's a third layer to this, that your brain filters out anything else that does not match your identity, who you are. So if you're not seeing opportunities, it's not because they aren't there, it's because your nervous system isn't wired to notice them. And this is where the key lives, to unlock your infinite potential, your innate intelligence, that magnetic, abundant nature that is you. You don't just think differently, you recode, you repattern, you rewire your entire system, your body. And it starts there, and it starts with you. So I'm going to share a little story with you that is from ancient times, and it's a quote. It begins with a quote that I absolutely love by Hafez. How does the rose ever open its heart and give to this world all its beauty? It felt the encouragement of light against its being. Otherwise, we all remain too frightened. I want this to be the encouragement of light for you. So how did the rose find the courage to open? It's about love and releasing the fear. And I've shared with you many times how I made a leap for love. And I share all about this in my Be Her course. But Hafez was a Sufi poet, and the Sufi's call is this spiritual awakening, this path of love, which is the path of the heart. So I'm going to tell you a story about the rose. Each one of us has a soul, and the soul is the king or queen and the ruler of our life. And as a ruler, the soul sits upon a throne room, which is our heart, and makes all of the decisions, especially the important ones, about making the changes in your life, about relationships, about taking risks, because you see, the soul is connected so deeply with this infinite source of life that never dies. The soul lives forever, and so doesn't get caught up in the drama and the hamster wheel of life. And being a king or a queen and being the ruler of the land, this soul has an attendant, a servant, if you like, and the servant is the mind, and the mind's job is to serve the king or queen, your heart and soul. But what's happened to most of us is the mind has become very frightened from past experiences, situations, and now the mind has locked the door to our hearts, and the king or queen has fallen asleep within the throne room because there's no fresh air, and the heart has become closed. There's an armor around it. So just contemplate here from this story and the metaphors. Who is the ruler in your life? Your soul or your mind? Do you wish your heart to be more free and open to passion, to love, to freedom, to abundance? And if yes, I'm going to share how you feel the light against your being and how the king or queen, your soul, wakes up and literally rules. So all of the practices I share, I've shared this story, this Sufi story, for probably the last 13, 15 years. I brought it into my yoga practices, and it's with my clients, and it's a remembrance. So through the somatic practices, the breath, the energy activations, along with identity shifts and audio transmissions, all of these rewire, recode, repattern the neural pathways. I mean, what does that mean? It means that your body is running on an old story, and that's why potentially the mind has gotten frightened and shut the door. Not because you chose it, but because it's been repeated so many times through experiences, through words, through thought, and you were shown it and the conditioning. And this has become your script, your nervous system has believed. And the science is very simple and profound. Repeated thoughts create neural pathways. And the more a pathway is used, the stronger it becomes. And your brain literally builds new connections around the practice you are feeling. So when you begin to listen to something different with intention, with breath, with feeling, you're not just hearing words, you are laying down new neural pathways. You're creating a new story within your body. You're shifting your nervous system's baseline from survival, reaction, to aliveness. This is the whole premise of why I created YONÍ Codes. So now with that knowledge, back to the story of the soul and the queen. Okay. The practices you do, or the thoughts, or the words are what are going to awaken your soul. This is why breath work can take you into a different consciousness. It's why energy activations, you've got to be out of your mind. And I've seen this time and time again, that when we are in aligned company, when we are with a mentor who really knows this, feels this, embodies this, this is what helps us to awaken. You see the patterns, and this is how I work with my clients. We find the codes that work for you. So the queen wakes up through the practices. And then the soul can really say to the mind, I know you're frightened, but there's a different way. I trust love. I trust my authenticity. I know you were trying to protect me, but I am ready to overflow with love. I am ready for my authenticity to come alive, my aliveness. And these are the biggest keys, love and authenticity, for awakening the truth of your heart so that your soul wakes up to the infinite potential within you. And the mind actually does what it is there for, to serve the wisdom from the infinite expression of your soul. So this is why I say that what you repeat is what you are seeing in your life. This is why I say whatever sits on your altar, that throne room, is shaping who you become. So every thought is a prayer. Every habit is a sacred offering, like in Tantra, the puja. And the way you live your life becomes the altar. This was my last podcast, how I began to consecrate my life. I stopped creating content because when you repeatedly offer your attention with intention, it becomes that light on your altar. So I ask you, do you speak to yourself as a goddess, or do you speak from the wound? Do your words bow to the divinity within you? Or do you repeat the old spells of smallness, of survival? This is where my own practice has deepened lately. I've been praying so differently, not asking, although I do, but more show me, let me be your vision through, let me see your vision through me. Let me become available to what is already seeking expression through my life. I am walking and talking with God, because how can I call myself a goddess if God is not within me? This is the holy union. This is sacred union. This is divine union. This is Tantra. I don't pray to become something one day. I pray from who I already am. And this isn't new. As a child, I knew the life I would live. I knew I would live in the tropics. I knew I would marry barefoot on the beach, sand in my toes, ocean as a witness. I didn't know the how. I didn't need to control it. I just knew it and declared it as a young girl and simply held that identity. So when I then traveled to Barbados and I met a man who became, I didn't know at the time, but he was going to be my future husband. The timelines collapsed. Recognition happened. Again, I share all these stories within Be Her, but within 3 months of deciding that I was going to move to the Caribbean and saying my mantra, I am open to receive, literally everything aligned. I sold my house. I sold my business. Everything. I didn't chase the dream. I moved into alignment with who I already was. And this is how reality responds. You don't need the evidence, the outcome from last month with the last podcast. It's about being in that identity, and then reality responds. So as I shift identities, as I shed the skins, as we all, move from the snake year to the horse, from survival to sovereignty, this is where it all begins to land. We all talk about transformation if it is like we're becoming someone new, but the snake doesn't become a snake. It sheds what no longer fits. And a horse doesn't apologize for its power. It runs free and wild. So prayer has become this quantum technology for me, not as words, but as a living, breathing expression of embodiment, arriving in my body, touching my body, slowing the breath, beginning with gratitude before proof, declaring availability. Like I am available for alignment. I am available for truth. I am available for the clearest path forwards. I release the how. I trust the intelligence moving through it. And then there's a pause with silence. Because prayers don't end with asking, they end with listening. And that, beloved, is where everything changes. Because eventually the question is not, what do you want? The question is, what are you worshipping and honoring in your life? Because whatever sits on your altar is shaping who you become. This, as I said in the very beginning, literally has transformed my life. And I'm really hoping this finally lands with you. So, of course, I would love for you to experience my yoni codes, especially if you are wanting to come back into your innate pleasure, into a new relationship with your yoni, into that sexy confidence. And listen to them over and over and over again to recode and rewire the neural pathways. Take a different step. And if you really want to shift identities, then Be Her is for you. It's for where you are done settling, where you are done abandoning yourself and are so ready for more. I am in love with these two entry points into my world. They literally set my soul on fire, and I hope that you can hear that, and I would love to see you inside. Much love for now, and I'll see you next time.